The rap world just shook to its core, and this time, it's Kendrick Lamar hitting back at Drake. After weeks of tension, subliminals, and social media speculation, Kendrick has finally responded to Drake's Iceman album, and the streets, the fans, and the internet can't stop talking. The silence is over, and the reaction is nothing short of explosive. Drake dropped 3 albums in one night, with Iceman specifically targeting Kendrick, calling him out on his legacy, relevance, and even questioning his fanbase. Social media blew up with memes, reaction videos, and debates about who was on top, but Kendrick stayed silent. Until now, one track, one verse, one move has changed everything. Fans are scrambling to analyze every lyric, every bar, and every subtle jab. Is Kendrick firing back at Drake personally, or is this a masterclass in strategy, patience, and lyrical supremacy? The reaction is massive. Clips are going viral, fan theories are running wild, and influencers are dissecting every frame. Is this Kendrick's biggest counterstrike yet? Could this be the moment that redefines hip-hop supremacy in 2026? Even Drake's camp is reportedly watching closely, knowing that Kendrick doesn't respond lightly. Every lyric is a calculated blow, every verse a statement of dominance. And here's the kicker. This response is not just about a feud, it's about legacy, cultural relevance, and proving who truly dominates the rap game. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly how Kendrick dismantled Drake's attacks, flipped the narrative, and reminded the world why he is considered one of the greatest rappers of all time. Stay with me, because the verse, the reactions, and the hidden messages behind Kendrick's response will shock you. This is more than music, it's a war, it's a statement, and it's about to reshape the culture. You won't want to miss a single second. Before we dive into Kendrick Lamar's explosive response, you need to understand why this moment is historic. This isn't just a rap feud. It's the collision of 2 generational titans, years of unspoken tension, strategic artistry, and social media hysteria that has the entire hip-hop world holding its breath. Let's start with Drake, the Toronto superstar whose influence in global hip-hop is unmatched. Over the last decade, he's dominated charts, broken streaming records, and shaped trends. But even kings face rivals. On May 15, 2026, Drake released 3 albums in one night, including the one everyone was talking about, Iceman. This album wasn't just music, it was a statement. Every track included subliminal shots at Kendrick Lamar, questioning his legacy, fanbase, cultural relevance, and even taking personal jabs. Drake didn't just aim to compete, he aimed to reshape the narrative around the top of hip-hop in 2026. Now meet Kendrick Lamar, the Compton-born lyrical genius, a cultural icon, and a strategist in the rap game. Kendrick isn't just a rapper, he's a master of narrative, influence, and timing. From Good Kid, M.A.A.D. City to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Kendrick has crafted albums that don't just entertain, they dominate conversations, reshape culture, and set new standards in artistry. Unlike most, he doesn't respond to every jab on social media. His silence itself is a statement, powerful, deliberate, and terrifying to competitors. The tension between Drake and Kendrick dates back years. Their first public connection came on Drake's 2011 album Take Care, where Kendrick appeared on Buried Alive interlude. Collaboration suggested respect, but by 2013, tension had simmered. Kendrick's verse on Big Sean's Control ignited debate, with Kendrick challenging the entire generation, including Drake, to elevate their artistry. It was subtle but monumental, a lyrical declaration that nobody was untouchable. From that moment, the world watched every interaction, every track, every line for hidden meaning. Over the years, the feud stayed mostly subliminal. A glance in a music video, a cryptic Instagram story, or a lyric mentioning fans, streets, or collaborators became fodder for speculation. Hip-hop fans became detectives, piecing together meaning from snippets, bars, and cryptic posts. By 2026, every move Drake or Kendrick made had multi-layered implications, especially as both artists maintained dominance in streaming, awards, and cultural relevance. Then comes Iceman, Drake's calculated strike. The album contains direct and indirect disses, questioning Kendrick's relevance in the current rap climate. Tracks poke fun at Kendrick's previous albums, his perceived fanbase shrinking, and even his activism. Social media erupted immediately. TikTok compilations, reaction threads, and Reddit analyses exploded. Fans debated every verse. Was it playful, strategic, or a full-blown attack? The internet became the battlefield. Kendrick's silence in response became even more dramatic. For a week, speculation ran wild. Fans wondered if Kendrick would respond musically, ignore the shots, or issue a public statement. His silence wasn't passive. It was a masterclass in control and suspense, forcing Drake and his fans to wait while the tension built. In the streets, silence equals power. Online, it's fuel for hysteria, theories, and speculation. Adding layers to the drama, insiders suggested that Kendrick had already been in the studio preparing a response, not hastily, but strategically. Every lyric, every beat, every reference was designed to dismantle Drake's narrative while reinforcing Kendrick's dominance. The stakes weren't just personal, they were cultural. Fans of both artists eagerly watched, understanding that the next verse could redefine dominance in hip-hop for years to come. Even mainstream media caught on. Outlets dissected the subliminals, creating viral articles. Kendrick's silence speaks louder than any diss track, or Drake versus Kendrick. Who will control 2026 hip-hop? Analysts debated Kendrick's approach, strategic genius or missed opportunity. Yet the true genius lay in keeping the audience in suspense, letting the world anticipate the response while Kendrick quietly prepared his moves. And here's why this moment is unprecedented. It combines years of history, generational rivalry, social media hysteria, and cultural stakes. Drake's Iceman attack wasn't just a diss, it was a calculated, multi-layered strike designed to provoke a response. Kendrick's reply isn't just a diss track, it's a culmination of years of artistry, patience, and strategy. Every lyric, reference, and subtle jab is designed to dominate the conversation. The rap world had been waiting, and the moment finally arrived. After Drake dropped his triple album blitz, including the infamous Iceman, the industry, fans, and social media exploded. For weeks, speculation dominated every corner of the internet. Would Kendrick respond? How would he handle the attack? And then, on May 20th, 2026, the answer came. Kendrick Lamar delivered a verse that the streets, the fans, and even Drake himself could not ignore. It started quietly, almost deceptively. Kendrick uploaded a short teaser to his Instagram and Twitter pages, a studio snippet, just 30 seconds, no words explicitly mentioning Drake. But to the trained eye, every detail screamed a counterattack in disguise. The beat selection, the tone, and the flow were unmistakably aimed at disarming the narrative Drake had created. Fans immediately went wild. Clips were slowed down, looped, and dissected frame by frame. TikTok compilations were made within minutes. Captions like "Kendrick is about to destroy Iceman," and "The King has finally spoken" dominated feeds. The first lines dropped in Kendrick's teaser immediately set the tone. A mix of confidence, supremacy, and subtle subliminals. Without ever saying Drake's name, Kendrick called out the metrics obsession, streaming flexes, and performative theatrics that Drake had emphasized on Iceman. He referenced the CN Tower takeover in Toronto, the live streams, and the triple album strategy, all in one verse, using wordplay so sharp it cut through the hype. Fans and analysts quickly realized this wasn't just music, it was a masterclass in dismantling an opponent without uttering their name. Social media reaction was instantaneous. TikTok compilations dissected every beat drop. Reddit threads exploded with thousands of comments. Did you hear the subliminals? He's not even naming him and still obliterating Drake. This is lyrical warfare, the next level of hip-hop. Chess. Influencers, rappers, and cultural commentators joined the frenzy. Some suggested Kendrick's verse was more devastating than any direct diss Drake could have thrown, calling it strategic genius. The first twist came when fans noticed Kendrick had leaked an additional verse on YouTube, allegedly accidentally, but insiders confirmed it was intentional. In this verse, Kendrick made subtle references to Drake's collaborations, streaming numbers, and even AI-generated music experiments from Iceman, framing them as superficial compared to his own. Lyrical and cultural depth, the genius of this move? By critiquing Drake's methodology without direct insults, Kendrick asserted dominance while maintaining the high ground, a textbook play in the rap war game. Meanwhile, Drake's fans went into full defensive mode. Some argued the attack wasn't personal, others insisted Kendrick was overreaching. The 24/7 analysis continued across X, Instagram, and TikTok. Memes framed Kendrick as the silent assassin, while reactions speculated on every subtle lyrical reference. Lines from Kendrick's verse, like "metrics don't make kings, legacy does," were looped repeatedly, becoming the soundtrack to viral debates. Then came the first public reaction from Drake's camp, which escalated the drama even further. A manager allegedly leaked a statement saying, "Drake isn't worried. Kendrick's verse is clever, but the streets know who dominates." This only intensified fan analysis. Comment sections became heated debates. Drake underestimated Kendrick's strategy. Kendrick is playing chess while Drake is throwing punches. This is going down in history. But the most dramatic twist arrived when a third-party insider hinted at Kendrick's strategic timing. Sources claimed that Kendrick had been deliberately waiting to respond until public anticipation was at its peak. Every teaser, snippet, and subtle release was engineered to maximize suspense, ensuring fans, media, and even Drake's team were primed for maximum impact. Social media exploded further as people dissected the timing, wondering how long Kendrick had been preparing the verse and how it would affect streaming numbers, fan perception, and hip-hop narratives. Fans noticed every subliminal detail, references to past collaborations with Drake, subtle mentions of Take Care and Big Sean's Control verse, and nods to Kendrick's Grammy-winning tracks. Each line was a reminder of Kendrick's cultural dominance and the historical context of their rivalry. Analysts called it a full-spectrum response, blending lyrical genius, cultural literacy, and timing precision, a response that transcended a simple diss and became a masterclass in strategy and reputation management. Even the music critics weighed in. Tweets like "Kendrick didn't just respond, he erased the narrative, and Drake's triple album stunt has been flipped" went viral. YouTube breakdowns, Instagram reaction compilations, and TikTok lip-sync videos amplified every word. Fans debated lyric meanings for hours, connecting references to past events, street politics, and hip-hop history. The beef had evolved from a personal confrontation to a cultural spectacle. And then came the final first twist. Kendrick teased an upcoming visual release for the track, showing glimpses of imagery reminiscent of Drake's Toronto stunt. Fans speculated that Kendrick's next move would mirror and surpass Drake's theatrics, a bold statement showing that not only did he have lyrical dominance, but he also controlled the narrative, visually and culturally. The anticipation skyrocketed. Would Drake respond publicly? Would Kendrick's visuals redefine the power balance in the rap world? The cliffhanger was complete. The first move had been made. Kendrick had responded with precision, style, and strategy. But the battle was far from over. Every fan, every rapper, every cultural commentator knew that the next move, whether it came from Drake's camp, Kendrick's visuals, or the streets, could change the hierarchy of hip-hop in 26. The stage was set. Kendrick had responded, the internet had exploded, Drake's camp had reacted, and fans were waiting for the next domino to fall. The first twist had landed, but the war was just beginning, and nobody could predict the next play. Just when fans thought the war between Kendrick Lamar and Drake had peaked with Kendrick's initial verse, the situation erupted into an even more explosive frenzy. Social media, fan bases, and the industry were all watching, analyzing, and debating every second. Kendrick's response wasn't just a single verse. It became a cultural event, and every move, word, and subtle cue amplified the tension. Immediately after the snippet hit Instagram and X, fans dissected every line. TikTok compilations and reaction videos went viral, with captions like "Kendrick just exposed Drake" and "The King has spoken." Every frame of Kendrick's studio tease was scrutinized. Hand gestures, facial expressions, and even pauses in the beat were interpreted as direct jabs at Drake. Fans connected subliminal references to Drake's CN Tower stunt, the live streams for Iceman, and Drake's triple album strategy, creating a narrative of a carefully calculated counterattack. The first major escalation came when snippets from Kendrick's additional verse were leaked on YouTube, allegedly an accident, but insiders later confirmed it was intentional. In this verse, Kendrick referenced Drake's reliance on AI-generated verses, streaming metrics, and theatrics, framing them as shallow compared to Kendrick's legacy, lyrical skill, and cultural influence. Social media exploded with hashtags like "Kendrick exposes Drake" and "Iceman response," while Reddit threads ran hundreds of posts analyzing bars line by line. Comment sections were filled with shock, excitement, and debates about who truly dominated. Fans weren't the only ones reacting. Rappers and influencers across the industry quickly weighed in, adding commentary, memes, and cryptic posts. Some subtly backed Kendrick, highlighting his timing, strategy, and lyrical depth. Others stayed neutral, recognizing that publicly picking sides could have lasting consequences. Meanwhile, music journalists dissected the historical context. The Control verse, Take Care collaboration, Grammy wins, and Kendrick's Super Bowl performance, positioning Kendrick's silence and calculated response as a masterstroke. As this digital storm raged, speculation about Kendrick's next move reached fever pitch. Insiders suggested that the visual treatment for his verse would mirror and surpass Drake's CN Tower stunt, combining music, art, and cinematic presentation. Fans theorized every potential shot. Will Kendrick reference Toronto? Will subliminal imagery target Drake's collaborators or AI experiments? Every fan theory became a viral topic, with reaction videos, commentary threads, and TikTok breakdowns multiplying exponentially. Then came the shocking reveal that amplified the drama even further. A set of leaked direct messages allegedly surfaced between Kendrick and his creative team. detailing how every lyric and beat was crafted to dismantle Drake's narrative. Even more explosive, some messages hinted at references to Drake's fanbase, questioning their loyalty and exposing perceived weaknesses. While unverified, these leaks went viral immediately. Fans and media debated authenticity, but the hysteria ensured the feud dominated every social media platform. This escalation wasn't just digital. Hip-hop culture insiders noted that Kendrick's approach combined musical artistry with psychological strategy. By responding indirectly, he forced Drake to react while maintaining the moral and cultural high ground. Analysts on YouTube, podcasts, and live streams repeatedly stressed, Kendrick didn't just respond, he reframed the narrative. He controlled the story before Drake could. This strategic genius became a focal point of discussion in the streets and online communities alike. Fan bases erupted further. 4KT, YoungBoy's fan-inspired parallels in strategic loyalty, and Kendrick's own supporters debated the meaning of each line. TikTok compilations created narratives connecting Kendrick's bars to Drake's past feuds, Iceman album references, and lyrical subtext from as far back as 2013's Control verse. Every lyric became a topic of obsessive analysis, turning Kendrick's response into a full-blown cultural spectacle rather than a simple track. And then came another shocking twist. Kendrick teased that the full visual and music release would drop in stages, designed to maximize suspense and ensure Drake's narrative remained disrupted. Fans immediately speculated that each video segment would contain subtle disses, hidden references, and even Easter eggs targeting Drake's collaborators, streaming tactics, and AI-assisted tracks. The anticipation was palpable. Comment sections exploded with speculation. Kendrick is playing 4D chess. Every bar is a message the internet hasn't fully decoded yet. Drake can't even respond without elevating Kendrick's influence. By now, the story had achieved maximum virality. Every tweet, every snippet, every fan reaction was feeding a snowball of drama. TikTok compilations, reaction memes, YouTube live analysis, Reddit threads, none of it slowed. Fans created polls. Best subliminal bar? Most devastating line? Who will move first next? The escalation was relentless, and the tension between Kendrick and Drake reached levels not seen in years. The cliffhanger heading into the next section, public and industry reactions, was undeniable. Kendrick had responded strategically, lyrically, and culturally, leaving Drake's camp scrambling for ways to defend themselves. Fans, media, and industry observers were waiting for the next move, the first real counter, or even a public acknowledgement. The world was now watching the feud as a high-stakes chess match, where every bar, post, and move could shift cultural dominance. The escalation and shocking reveals had turned a single response into a multi-layered, multi-platform event, capturing attention across hip-hop, social media, and mainstream media. The narrative was now unstoppable, and the next public reactions were guaranteed to keep fans glued to every second. The moment Kendrick's verse hit, the internet erupted in chaos. Social media feeds became battlegrounds, with fans, rappers, and media outlets all scrambling to analyze, interpret, and amplify every single lyric. Hashtags like Kendrick Responds, Iceman Exposed, and Hip Hop War 2026 trended within minutes, dominating platforms like X, Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit. For fans, every bar was dissected like evidence in a courtroom, every pause a potential subliminal, every beat a declaration of dominance. TikTok creators quickly compiled reaction videos, slowing down Kendrick's verse, zooming in on his subtle gestures in the studio snippet, and overlaying captions like "He's dismantling Drake" without even naming him. These videos went viral, racking up millions of views, shares, and comments. Fans debated endlessly. Did you catch the jab about AI verses? He's calling out the CN Tower stunt. Kendrick is on another level. Even casual listeners became armchair analysts, dissecting every lyric for hidden meaning. Meanwhile, rap influencers and YouTube commentators fueled the fire. Channels uploaded hour-long breakdowns, connecting Kendrick's verse to Drake's Iceman lyrics, historical beefs, and subtle cultural references dating back to 2013's Control verse. Analysts argued that Kendrick's response was not just lyrical. It was strategic warfare designed to undermine Drake's credibility, fanbase, and narrative without explicitly mentioning him. Comment sections were ablaze with reactions. He's playing chess while Drake is throwing punches. Kendrick is rewriting hip-hop rules. This verse will go down in history. Mainstream media outlets jumped on the story. Entertainment news headlines screamed, "Kendrick Lamar strikes back at Drake." Iceman response sparks social media frenzy, and hip-hop's Battle of the Titans continues. Analysts highlighted the timing, subtlety, and genius of Kendrick's verse. framing it as a cultural statement rather than just a musical retort. Even non-rap audiences were caught up in the spectacle, sharing memes, articles, and reaction videos across platforms. Fans also focused on streaming metrics and charts, comparing the reception of Kendrick's verse to Drake's Iceman album performance. Every spike, every play, and every trend was interpreted as a score in the battle. Subreddits and fan forums ran live threads, breaking down line-by-line subliminals and speculating on Drake's next move. TikTok and Instagram Reels spread compilations with dramatic soundtracks, framing the feud as a high-stakes war. The rappers themselves reacted as well. Some took subtle sides, posting cryptic lyrics or quotes interpreted as endorsements. Others remained silent, understanding the stakes. Public alignment could shift alliances, influence collaborations, or affect street credibility. Fans noticed every emoji, every repost, and every story, analyzing whether it was a signal, a bluff, or a strategic move. Even the industry felt the heat. Streaming platforms, award shows, and media outlets tracked engagement obsessively. The feud's virality demonstrated that Kendrick's response wasn't just music, it was a cultural event. Analysts noted that this could redefine dominance in 2026, setting a precedent for strategy, timing, and indirect lyrical warfare in hip-hop. And just when it seemed like the public had absorbed all the drama, rumors of a visual release tied to Kendrick's response surfaced. Fans speculated that the visuals would include subliminals referencing Drake's theatrics, collaborators, and AI-generated tracks. Memes, reaction videos, and Instagram stories exploded with theories. This could be bigger than Iceman. Every shot will hit harder than a diss track. Kendrick is taking the narrative completely over. By now, Kendrick's calculated silence, lyrical mastery, and strategic release had created an unstoppable cultural whirlwind. Fans, media, and artists were all waiting, glued to every post, every snippet, every cryptic comment, anticipating the next move. The public and industry reactions had transformed Kendrick's response into more than a verse. It had become a full-scale cultural event, leaving the rap world on edge and desperate for the next chapter. The cliffhanger heading into the next section, final twist and cliffhanger, is clear. Kendrick has responded. The fans and media are reacting explosively, and Drake's camp has yet to deliver a direct counter. Every lyric, every reaction, and every potential visual release could change the story entirely. The next move is imminent, and the world is watching. Just when the world thought the saga had peaked, Kendrick Lamar dropped the bomb that shook the streets, the fans, and Drake's camp alike. His full verse, teased in snippets, was now out in its entirety, and the reactions were immediate, frenzied, and explosive. This was not just a response, it was a masterclass in strategy, timing, and lyrical dominance. And it left fans, media, and even Drake himself scrambling to interpret every line. The twist? Kendrick's verse didn't just retaliate, it redefined the battlefield. Every subliminal jab was carefully crafted to hit Drake where it hurt most: his fan metrics, public image, AI-assisted music experiments, and over-the-top promotional tactics for Iceman. Fans noticed subtle lines referencing Drake's CN Tower stunt, his triple album release, and even the social media hype surrounding his recent projects. Yet Kendrick did all this without directly naming Drake, making the attack both surgical and undeniable. Social media exploded instantly. TikTok creators, meme pages, and reaction channels dissected every bar, slowing down each line, highlighting every double entendre, and connecting each reference to Drake's previous moves. Reddit threads went hundreds of comments deep. Fans argued whether Kendrick's strategies was smarter than Drake's, debated the subliminal effectiveness, and analyzed how it might affect streaming. Numbers. Influencers and rappers joined in, providing breakdowns and commentary that only added more fuel to the fire. The first shocking reveal came from insiders in Kendrick's camp, who hinted that the verse was only the first salvo. Reports suggested that Kendrick had visual content, additional bars, and a potential short film ready to drop, each designed to escalate tension further, reveal hidden subliminals, and dominate the cultural conversation. Fans immediately theorized. Would the visuals mirror Drake's Toronto stunts? Would they include hidden references to his collaborators or AI-generated verses? Every rumor amplified anticipation, turning the feud into a full-blown spectacle. Meanwhile, Drake's camp was reportedly in damage control mode. Managers, PR teams, and insiders were analyzing the verse for weaknesses, preparing statements, and considering whether to respond publicly, musically, or via social media. Every post or story from Drake's team was dissected by fans for hidden meaning. The tension reached fever pitch as speculation grew about whether Drake would escalate or let Kendrick's calculated attack stand uncontested. The cultural implications were staggering. Kendrick's response didn't just address Drake. It challenged the notion of dominance in hip-hop, asserting that strategy, timing, and artistry matter more than sheer numbers or spectacle. Social media commentary framed it as a lesson in restraint and genius, with hashtags like Kendrick Supreme, Iceman Exposed, and Hip Hop Chess trending worldwide. Memes and TikTok compilations depicted Kendrick as the silent assassin, dismantling Drake's narrative with precision and control. And here's the ultimate cliffhanger. Insiders hinted at a secret visual drop tied to Kendrick's response. Nothing has leaked, but fans are convinced it will contain subliminal references that could escalate the feud to new heights. Every lyric, bar, and visual tease has set the stage for the next move, and the world is waiting with bated breath. What makes this twist truly chilling is this: Kendrick has turned silence into power. He didn't overreact, he didn't rush a response, and he didn't need to name Drake to dominate the narrative. Yet the tension is far from over. The next release, performance, or social media post could redefine the hierarchy of hip-hop in 2026. Fans, media, and industry insiders are all on edge, anticipating the next explosive move that could change everything. The takeaway? Kendrick's verse is more than a response. It's a statement of cultural supremacy, and the suspense is only beginning. The feud has evolved into a multi-layered, ongoing narrative where every bar, every image, and every post is a calculated play in a game of influence, perception, and legacy. The world is watching. The fans are analyzing. And one thing is certain: the next chapter in this Kendrick vs. Drake saga is about to drop, and it could shake the entire music industry to its core. Now that you've seen Kendrick Lamar's explosive response to Drake, it's time for you to weigh in. What do you think is really happening behind the scenes? Is Kendrick asserting lyrical dominance, or is this a calculated cultural statement designed to control the narrative? Comment below with your thoughts because we want to know. Are you Team Kendrick, or are you still riding with Drake on Iceman? If this verse shocked you, smash that like button and share this video with your friends who live for hip-hop drama. Trust me, they'll want to see every lyric breakdown, every subliminal, and every fan reaction. This isn't just music. It's a full-scale battle of influence, strategy, and supremacy in hip-hop, and everyone is watching. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because this story is far from over. We'll be covering every new snippet, visual drop, and potential response from Drake or Kendrick. The next episode promises even bigger twists, unseen visuals, and lyrical breakdowns that could change the hierarchy of hip-hop in 2026. And here's the question that has everyone debating online. Do you think Kendrick's strategic silence and indirect approach is smarter than Drake's bold, direct attacks? Or do you think Drake still has a card to play that could shift the balance? Comment your theory below, and the best takes might get featured in our next video. Remember, in the rap game, timing, strategy, and perception are everything. Kendrick didn't just respond. He controlled the narrative, silenced the critics, and reminded the world why he's considered one of the greatest of all time. But the story isn't finished. The streets, the fans, and the internet are all waiting for the next move, and when it drops, it could redefine everything. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and make sure you're ready for the next chapter in this epic Kendrick vs. Drake saga. The game has only just begun, and the next twist is coming sooner than you think.